All right. So one of my secret pleasures is I get to write down things that you've said that would make a good title. So
Okay.
I will read through my list, pick your favorite, and that will be the title for this episode.
Okay.
Why don't we go camping in the Northwoods? All of a sudden, an idea was forming. How can I help? Challenge accepted. If my dreams manifest, life imitates art. Focus on that happy ending. More, or take a chance on love.
Oh gosh. I think probably all of a sudden an idea was forming. That would be a good one.
Yep. All right. Let me quickly record that for Baz. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 43. All of a sudden, an idea was forming. Written on the Edge. I'm Van Sebastian here with my co-host, S.A. Baz Collins.
Howdy.
And we're really glad you're here with us. Our guest today is Lee Pulaski. Living in the real world was never a long-term plan for Lee. He spent many a day imagining bold adventures and playing them out in the quiet countryside of Chino Valley, Arizona. Still, he never could have imagined at the time that the dreams and worlds created in his mind would someday be in print form. Lee first published in high school, where he wrote about the news and told compelling feature stories about people. His talent for photography helped to bring those stories to life, and Lee's still working as a journalist today. Despite seeing his byline several times a week, Lee still yearned to see his name on the cover of a book. He was inspired to write his first novel in 2006 after spending a vacation camping with family during a particularly breathtaking autumn where the reds, oranges, and yellows were on full display. The experience helped bring about a romantic story called The Colors of Love and Autumn, which he published through Torquere Press in 2008 as an ebook. Now, 20 books in, Lee is still writing and still in the pursuit of new worlds and new dreams. He joined the Shawano Area Writers in 2011, giving him a chance to test out his works in progress and providing an opportunity to work with other writers striving to see their works in print. Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Man, who wrote that stuff? It sounds so amazing. I mean,
I found it on
a writer.
I found it on some guy's website, and then I thought, like, this make a good bio.
Something like that.
Works for me.
So was it really the Wisconsin Leaves that inspired you to write that first novel?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, back in 2006, I was working as a journalist along the shores of Lake Powell. And at the time, I mean, I was kind of feeling like my writing skills had kind of run out of juice, that it was just kind of the same old thing over and over again.
Oh.
Go cover the meeting, go take a picture of an event. And I just felt like I was running out of gas. And so I decided to visit my sister and my brother-in-law, who had been living in Wisconsin for about 3 years at that point. And they said, you know what, why don't we go camping in the Northwoods? And that should be fun. Nice way to get away from it all. Kind of recharge your personal batteries. And I thought, okay, that works. And the timing was late September. So about that time, the colors start changing. And about halfway towards the Northwoods, we stopped off at a gas station, and I was so awed by the colors. I mean, in Arizona, you have some color, but mostly green pine or barren desert. So at that time, I decided to grab a notepad, because I mean, all of a sudden this idea was forming in my mind. It's like, you know what if these two guys found love here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin as the colors are changing and stuff? And that whole trip, I was just taking down notes and stuff. And there were a couple of times my sister and my brother-in-law were like, Lee, are you still there? Hello? But by then,
the voices are talking.
Yes, they were. They were talking in full swing. They'd been so quiet for so long. I thought they'd gone away, and then all of a sudden, hello, Lee. We need you to write this. It's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of words.
Thanks,
Very nice.
muses.
Now that they're back from their coffee break, really long
Right.
coffee break.
And 20 books later, you're still doing it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, I was thinking that first book was going to be one and done, and then maybe I'd come up with something later. But as I was finishing up that first book, all of a sudden, an idea came up for another and another and another, and then a mystery series, and that brings us all the way up to the book that I recently came out with. And it's just it's just been an amazing ride, and it's still going. I mean, if I had a seatbelt here, it'd probably be on right now because I'd be like.
Awesome. So let's talk about White Christmas in the Desert. Came out mid-October.
Yes. And it was originally going to be out first part of November, but then I heard about the fact that you need to buy your Christmas stuff now because there's going to run out of supplies and everything. And I'm like thinking, okay, well then maybe I should move this up just a little bit because I'd actually finished writing the first draft back in April. It was just biding my time until the Christmas holiday season. Then I got to thinking, okay, well maybe we should pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, right, because nobody's going to be looking in December. Either that or they really will be looking in December because it's the only thing they can buy.
You never know. That could be the boosted sales. You never know.
Right.
If I hear the words supply chain issues one more time, I'm going to scream.
You and me both.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
Just...
So tell me about the book. What do I need to know?
Oh, yes. Details. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm here.
Right.
Well, anyway, White Christmas in the Desert takes place in my hometown of Chino Valley, Arizona. The first time I've actually written about my hometown in all of the books. I mean, 20 books, you would think I'd written something about my hometown. But anyway, the story involves a man who grew up on a cattle ranch, and he went on to become an agriculture teacher, went down to Tucson, adopted a son, had a husband. Well, unfortunately, the husband decided to trade him in for a newer model. Yes, much newer model, barely legal model. And so he has to move with his son away. And about that time, he gets a call from his sister saying that his parents are having difficulty maintaining the farm because of their age and everything. And would you come back? Would you be able to take charge? And at the time he's thinking, you know what, let's get away from here. Let's go. And so he has to uproot his 8-year-old son who has made friends and everything down there and move him to a country environment that he knows nothing about. And the book starts up first part of December. They've been there for about 4 or 5 months, and they're starting to learn various things. Anyway, as you know, every time around this time of year, what's the favorite thing kids like to do? Like to go see Santa and tell him what they want for Christmas.
Right.
Well, Meldrick, my father figure, is waiting to hear from Evan, his son, and about what he wants for Christmas. And he thinks, okay, once he talks to Santa, I'll have the whole list. I could do my shopping, get that out of the way. And Evan comes up to him and says, I only want one thing for Christmas. I want to have a white Christmas. Now, in Wisconsin and other places, you can have that very, very easily.
Uh-huh.
In the desert of Arizona, kind of a roll of the dice there.
Right. And a certain elevation.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it does snow at certain elevations, and certainly in Chino Valley, but the snowstorms are further and fewer between because, I mean,
You're right,
a lot of times, yeah, and a lot of times if you do get snow, it'll just be a dusting. Sometimes it'll be several inches. During my childhood, I lived through a time when there was actually 2 feet of snow, and that was wild. I think it was like a 20-year or 50-year occurrence. I'm not sure, but
Does it tend to shut the state down when that happens?
oh yes, Well, at least the part of the state that has the snow. I mean, as you get down to the lower elevation,
Sure.
like Phoenix and Tucson, they're still running smoothly. But you get up to Prescott, Chino Valley, Flagstaff. I mean, like, womp. Yeah, we're done. We'll wait until things melt.
Right.
So how did Evan get his white Christmas?
Or that might be spoilery.
Now you're going to have to read the book to find out. But
Okay.
needless to say, they go through a number of ideas. I mean, do we make fake snow? He goes to the library and finds out that there's a book on making fake snow, but in order to do that, it's going to cost him a small fortune because Evan doesn't want just a white Christmas outside the front door. He wants it everywhere. And I mean, when you consider that some of these ranches are 40, 80, 100 acres and a lot of flatland and stuff, to have snow going across all that, I mean, would have bankrupted Meldrick. But he meets a ranch hand named Jesse, and basically it's during a project that Meldrick and Evan are put together. They're trying to put together a picnic table using repurposed material like old wagon wheels, repurposed wood, that sort of thing.
That's cool.
And Jesse happens to have the supplies that they need, and over the course of the conversation, Meldrick brings up, yeah, Evan wants a white Christmas, and it's like, well, how can I help? I mean, everybody else is kind of like, yeah, white Christmas.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that. And meanwhile, Jesse's like, challenge accepted. Let's do it.
Very cool. So do you classify this as a romance, contemporary fiction? Where do you place it?
I consider it a little more contemporary. I mean, yes, there is romance in it. Needless to say, Meldrick falls for Jesse and vice versa. But a lot of the focus is on the fact that this 8-year-old boy wants a white Christmas. He's already endured the trauma of being uprooted from his home and everything, being taken to this new place. He's like, you should make at least a good faith effort to make this happen.
Mm-hmm. And can I applaud you for writing a story about a non-traditional family?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that I think I want to see a lot more of in this world. And I love the fact that you've done it.
Also the fact that, you can have romantic threads in the story, but that's not the focus of the story.
Right.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's huge.
And I mean, I think that's a lot of my focus now. I mean, when I initially started writing, I wanted to write romance because I was single and needed somebody. And so, make my dreams manifest. But,
right.
But now that I've got a man and we've been together 9 years and we're happy and everything, it seems like romance should be secondary in terms of what's going on in the world. And obviously you have difficulty of raising kids as a single parent. The kids having to deal with the fact that one parent, at least initially, doesn't want anything to do with him, just wants to go on and play with his boy toy, basically. But the ex-husband does come back in a rather unpleasant way. And it does make for quite a bit of conflict towards the end.
Drama. Can you say drama?
Oh, yeah.
Holiday drama at that.
I mean, we can't spend the whole time focusing on, okay, what technique am I going to use to make a white Christmas? How am I going to make this happen? At some point, people are going to be like, could we have a car wreck or something?
Roadkill of some kind.
Anything else you want folks to know about the book?
Well, as far as the book, I mean, besides being contemporary, I also bring into it the element of faith and stuff. I mean, a lot of people have the conception that the LGBTQ community is not necessarily focused on Christianity and faith, just simply
or religion
because
of any kind.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of religions shun them and say that they're abominations, that they're going to hell, that sort of thing. But my main characters do actually go to church, and they're faithful, and they found a church that doesn't go with the whole abomination thing. That says you're gay, you're lesbian, you're bisexual. No, come on in, learn the Word of God. We're here to take you in. We love you. We think you're fine just the way you are. And I mean that was kind of important to me because I'd never really written too much about faith, and so it was important to me that this be different from the other books in that respect. And
Yeah, sure.
no, hopefully I've accomplished that.
Even just putting it out there, I think you've accomplished it because, I've noticed too, a lot of churches in this area, at least, are more welcoming and actually have like a couple of them have pride flags right on the front door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think for our little rainbow tribe, those of us who have faith and want to have faith, it's okay to go back and look now.
Absolutely.
There are houses of worship that will take you in just as you are.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of the time that I've been in a relationship with my partner Todd, we've been looking for a place that would accept us. He'd grown up in the Catholic faith, and so I mean, you can just imagine what kind of things he's had to deal with and everything.
Right.
But we found a place fairly close to home. It's just south of where I live, about 20 minutes. And it's a United Church of Christ, and it's been very, very welcoming for me and Todd. So, I mean, it happened about the same time as I was writing the book. So, I mean, it's just kind of like,
oh, there you go.
Wow, life imitating art.
Just nice.
There you go.
Very nice. So, in terms of life not imitating art, you also write mysteries.
Yes, I do. I've written 10 of them so far, and I finished up the 10th one during the course of the initial weeks of the pandemic. And at that point, I was starting to be a little fearful of what was going on because, I mean, saying events are being canceled, you've got to mask up. This virus is highly contagious. And it got to the point where, I mean, I was not focusing as much on my writing and creating the story as I was thinking, oh, God, what's going to happen?
Right.
And so at that point, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's time to take a break. I mean, I've written 10 of them. I mean, the mystery series has been my focus for about good 7-8 years. And so that's when I started thinking, okay, I need to write something else. And I did start writing something else. And in the course of writing that something else, White Christmas in the Desert started knocking on the door. And I mean that one, I wrote the first draft. I completed that in 3 months, and usually it takes me 6 or 7 months to finish up a first draft and then go through all the edits and everything. But sure. I mean, that just grabbed my attention. I think it kind of helped that during the winter months, we're just stuck inside and not able to do much else. So I mean, just make some cocoa, sit down in front of the computer, and let inspiration flow, and just.
Right? Welcome to the Great North, where winter traps you inside, pandemic or not.
Yes. But anyway, getting back to the mysteries and everything that you had asked about and stuff. My main character, Zachary Gagewood, runs a bookstore in a village called Gresham. It's in northeast Wisconsin, and it's a village of about 600 people. And so, I mean, if you start killing people off, that kind of drastically.
Yeah, it's kind of the Midsummer Murders kind of thing, you know.
Yes.
The village where everyone goes to die.
Yes. But anyway, the first book involves an apple fest where everybody competes to make the best apple pies and that sort of thing. And Zachary, who's gay, has to deal with this woman. She's Mormon, and she's highly intolerant of gay people, even though her own son turns out to be gay. And she's saying, "You can't be here. You can't be part of this wholesome festival." And Zachary tells her, "Well, you know what? I'm going to be here if I want. Everybody's welcome here. And if you don't like that, you can drop dead." And at that moment,
Wow.
So,
Oops.
And he's all,
I mean,
we do have the power. Hurricane. Oh wait, no.
yeah. Yes. Okay. Now can I have gobs and gobs of cash, bags of money fall down beside me? Beside me, not on me. But anyway, he goes on to solve that mystery, and then the next book, he goes to figure out who's murdering people during a drag queen fundraiser, and then it's a teddy bear's picnic, and then an art gallery opening, and so on and so on.
So is it kind of like a cozy mystery in that way? It's just it's someone who isn't a professional at it, but they got the knack for figuring stuff like that out.
Yeah. So, someone who's educated, who's read way too many of the mysteries in his shop, and and who doesn't like the fact that, okay, someone is killing off people, potential customers. I mean, that's not good.
Right.
So how do you do that with the local law enforcement? How do you play that game? Is it an adversarial situation, or do they come to realize that, hey, this guy actually does know a bit about how to do this, and they work with him, or is that an evolving thing?
It's an evolving thing. It started out very adversarial, and I mean, the detective investigating that first case, he and Zachary were friends in high school, and he's gone on to, through the training and everything, to be this investigator, and he doesn't like the fact that his friend is just doing this armchair investigating from his shop, and it's like, wait a minute, this is my job. What the hell are you doing?
Right.
But around the fifth mystery, this investigator, Joshua, it winds up being the investigated after his girlfriend winds up dead in his bed. And that coincidentally is around Christmas time. So
nice.
Merry Christmas, darling.
Yeah. So Zachary has to figure out who's framing Joshua for murder. And once that happens, things kind of warm up, and Joshua realizes, no, we don't have to be either or. We can work together on this.
Nice.
Excellent. Okay.
Very cool. All right. Anything else about your works that you want to share with folks?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I've done a variety of them over the years. I mean, the romances, obviously, the mysteries. I've also done a few involving kind of the supernatural. I did a trilogy of books based in Arizona, just not in Chino Valley. A trio of books involving a vampire and a witch who are in love with each other. The first book, they're trying to find a cure for the vampirism, because unfortunately, when they get together and make love, the instinctual wanton lust to bite someone rises up to the surface, and it goes from oh yes to like no, keep away from my neck.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, yes. And then a couple years ago, I came out with a book that takes place in a completely fantasy realm and stuff. This guy comes from the real world, falls through this portal into this world where you've got warriors and sorceresses and everything, and the sorceress is trying to take over the world, and she's doing it by poisoning or killing the life-giving fruit that they have and that they use to survive and everything. And so this guy comes through this portal. He's the one that's supposedly meant to save the world, supposedly has this ability to manifest magical powers and everything. And this warrior is called upon to help him accomplish that task, to find these mystical stones that will bring about saving the world.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I've written a variety of books. I mean, just because I like a variety of things. I mean, I like mysteries. I like science fiction. I like a touch of romance sometimes when it's not completely cheesy or anything like that. try to avoid the cheese factor whenever I can, but sometimes I can't help but stick it in.
You're in Wisconsin. A little bit of cheese is to be expected.
Well, yes, but I mean, everybody around me is already eating cheese, so the last thing I need to do is stick this big old wheel of it right in front of them and say, "Dig in."
No, you just sprinkle it on for flavor. You don't make it the main course.
Absolutely.
So, what's up next for you?
Well, let's see. There are several projects that I kind of have ideas about, but I'm still working on.
All the voices are talking.
yes. The voices are talking.
Me first.
And they're talking over each other. It's like,
right.
Pick me. The book that I was initially writing before White Christmas in the Desert grabbed me by the hair and said, "No, you're going to write me." The book I was writing, it's kind of a supernatural mystery called Night of the Hodag. And I don't know if your listeners know what a Hodag is, but it's kind of a Wisconsin legend up here and stuff. But anyway, these three guys are trying to track down this Hodag who's supposedly killed somebody, even though the Hodag lore is they're just mischievous. They're gentle creatures. They're not killers. So they're trying to figure out okay, has the Hodag gone crazy and killed people, or is there something else afoot? So I've got that in the works, and hopefully I'll get that done next few months or so, depending on whether or not the other voices try to divert me again. But I've got a couple other things I'm working on or thinking about working on. The mystery series, it's calling my name again, and the next one I think is going to be about. It's going to involve our veterans, the folks who have gone off to fight war in other countries and stuff, and they come back, and I mean they're dealing with all kinds of issues, PTSD, physical issues, that sort of thing. And what happens when these soldiers have survived the war but come back home and they're starting to be killed off? So I'm hoping to eventually get to that and do a story on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where's the best place for people to follow you and keep up with these updates?
Well, let's see. I've got a website, www.leepulaski.com. I've also got a blog that not only keeps track of the books I'm working on, but also some of the opinions I have, because I mean, I'm a writer, I'm opinionated. So that blog site is leepulaski.wordpress.com. And then, of course, you can find all of my books online on Amazon. A few of them are on Barnes & Noble. White Christmas on the Desert right now is exclusively on Amazon. And that's been gathering some attention in the last week or two. So
nice. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Any final words of wisdom?
Oh, well, let's see. Words of wisdom. I guess that means I need to sound wise. Yeah. I guess the final words of wisdom I have are open your minds. I mean, not only in writing, but in reading. I mean, just be open to the possibility of new places, new things. Be willing to dare to pick up that book that has a weird cover and take a look inside. I mean, you never know where it's going to take you. I mean, especially since the pandemic's still persistent and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of times we need to get away from reality, and books are the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, this is Written on the Edge. The Wrote Podcast is produced by Rogue Ravens Media. For our disclaimers, links to social media, our listen stations, or to sign up as a guest, visit www.wrotepodcast.com. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Lee for being with us. Lee, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. This has been a lot of fun. Gonna have to do it again sometime.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
absolutely.
Maybe when the next book comes out.
There you go.
Precisely. Exactly. All right, folks, pick up White Christmas in the Desert. Get ready for your holiday read and helping a young Arizona boy find his white Christmas. And we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
closing time. The bums rush in melody, dear.